Thank you, Rick. Mayor, you ready? All right. All right, good morning to everyone. Glad to see everybody brighten up early this morning to attend this special meeting called by the City Council. Do we need a motion to approve the workshop agenda?
So moved.
All right, moved by Mr. Creel. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Wayne. Any discussion? No? No discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. If the clerk would read the subject matter.
Subject matter is to discuss projects and funding pertaining to general obligation bonds.
Thank you, Carrie. I'd like to just open the meeting with a couple of comments. We've been working on this bond issue and subject matter for quite some time. Back when we did the budget, it was discussed it would be a $10 million, the concept of a $10 million bond. When we started looking at projects, it moved to up to $14 million, and we've had some spirited conversation of what we think our priorities are, needs. We even kind of talked about different increments from 10 to 14, 16, 18, 20, 25, and 30 million. So we've had a previous workshop. This is another attempt. I would hope the goal today would be a couple of things, that we can communicate to the administration what our priorities are in each of our wards, see if those can sync up with the mayor's gotta-haves or the priorities the administration sees it has to be done. If we can accomplish that in some orderly fashion and manner, then perhaps we can move to the amount necessary and that we have the capability to handle financially. It's well known that we have a couple of bonds that will be rolling off in a couple of years that will give us a little over $3 million. The projected payment, if we issued $14 million, is like 1.1, 1.2. We don't know the exact amount yet. If we moved it further to $20 million, I think it's around 1.7, call it, or a little bit more. So that's what we're trying to look at here. Nothing precludes us from this list, our priorities, the mayor's priorities. That's where we are today and trying to have a starting point, because certainly in a year or two, priorities can change, needs can change, the whole landscape and environment financially could change either for the better or for the worse. So we're trying to be as responsible as we can. Those are my opening comments. I hope we can, achieve and make another run and get to another point from A to B today. And I'll go ahead and open the floor up to the mayor, if the mayor wants to make some opening remarks.
Yeah, I do, and I think that's the play, is to understand where we could put the most bang, get the most bang for the buck. And I think the establishment of what's important to everybody, as I said in the past, I have no favorites. These are all part of what needs to be done. It's your determination what needs to be done in what time frame, and we'll make it work.
Okay. All right, I'll open it up to council members if y'all want to make any remarks. Anybody just chime in, raise your hand. Mr. Creel.
Just a quick question. So I received a message from a concerned resident regarding the bonds that we currently have outstanding. I know you mentioned some will be rolling off next year. He sent me his water bill, and on his water bill there's a HCUA payment. And on that HCUA payment, someone at the water department told him that was to pay off bond that we took out before. So I'm just trying to clarify for him and for my sake as well.
That's a credit to your water bill based on refinancing of what, Jane, $102 million?
Yeah.
That's saying
No, that shows on the debt reduction. However, there is a charge for HCUA.
Oh, yeah, but that's handling the processing of the wastewater, and that's based on a multiple of how much water you use. So what we process through the utility, through the waste systems, is about 50%. So what reaches the sewer processing, wastewater processing plants is about 50% of the water you use.
Right.
And that's a computation of what it takes to run the waste treatment operations.
Okay, so that's not a bond payment then?
No, that's all part of operations. We pay probably $1 million a month to the utility authority in order to do these things.
Okay.
And the computation of that wastewater charge is not a bond, well, it is, so to speak, but it's debt service plus the operational of our two plants, our three plants.
So a portion of that is debt servicing?
Well, a portion of the, yeah, go on.
HUA is a separate entity made up of Gulfport, all the cities, and Harrison County. As a separate entity, they have their own bonds which finance all of their lift stations and all of their,
So it's not a city bond, that's a bond that HCUA possibly has that they could use for debt?
HUA, but all the treatment plants, in fact, right there at Mercy Cross, that treatment plant is run and managed by HUA. So they have their own bonds that covers that, and that's its own entity. So that is not on the city's debt ledger or anything like that.
That's not, but the credit is, so the
credit is-
debt reduction is we get a credit.
What we did is, and it was when the rates were low, we were refinancing thing, and really spearheaded by the mayor, they refinanced all of the HUA debt, and that resulted in lower debt payment. To my understanding, we're the only city that actually rebated that savings back to the customers.
Perfect.
Other entities and cities just
Absorbed it.
retained the savings.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes.
Any other comments? No other comments? We're done?
Oh, no.
No, go ahead, I'm trying to.
All right, Mr. Marshall.
In reference to your comments about trying to come to a figure is what we're trying to come up with that would satisfy the administration side as well as satisfying the needs of each of the wards. We must take into effect that there were promises made for 20 years expanding, and certain parts of the city has been quietly waiting for those promises to be kept. In talking to those in East Biloxi, not just Ward 1, or Ward 2, East Biloxi, one of the requirements that they're asking, one of the things they're requiring is that they want economic development area rebuilt. And part of that, if you notice, is that anytime you go into a city has amenities. We were the hardest hit in East Biloxi of all of the city of Biloxi. And we lost all of our amenities. Two of the amenities that we lost were, affectionately we call the gyms. One was the red gym, I can't think of the name of the other one, but we lost two gyms. FEMA is in our past disaster relief, if you lose a building, they replace the building. If you lose a pier, they replace a pier. Pier for pier, road for road, building for building to bring you back. That's their job. That's what they do. We lost two buildings, two gyms specifically. What we're trying to do is that we're foregoing all the other things that we need in our area, which is a long list, a laundry list. And we're concentrating on doing what we would consider to be an investment. If anybody could take a moment and just Google the financial advantage, what is the financial advantage to a city investing in a recreation type facility, convention type facility in a municipal setting, it will show that for every dollar that the city invests, then the city will reap $100 to $150. So it's 101. This is the national average, and it's a very strong national average. We can show this throughout, I'm not going to mention any city particular, which part of the city particular. We can show this in one particular part of the city where millions was invested, and we have a state-of-art recreation center there, and it's paying off. And you look around their facility, that area, that park, and you see development is coming in everywhere. We have a part of the city that has not been able to do that. And we're asking this particular party, East Biloxi, not just Ward 2, but Ward 1, Ward 2, and Ward 3 also. It's East Biloxi. We're asking that under these circumstances, we shouldn't wait anymore. This is the time now. It's building, the bond people are telling you up front, the bond price is about the best you're gonna get to cost to borrow the money. They're telling you up front. The mayor tells you, every engineer is telling you the same thing. Every year, the cost of building this building goes up. If you had built the building back when it's supposed to be built, it would have been done for half the cost. To put this particular project off is an unfair burden to the rest of the city because you're passing on additional cost. Okay, investing in this also, if you take a simple moment in Google, it'll just tell you that it also, this type of investment, not only does it pay back $100 to one that you put in, it also says that, it also makes sure that your crime goes down. It increases the responsibility of the community. It enhances the community. It brings in development into the community. And there's just a laundry list of all positive. There's nothing negative about this. You can't find a negative thing about this project. So we're on the east side, and as far as the items on that list, and it is numerous. I mean, throughout all the wards, we're talking 60, 70 items possibly on this list. We only have one. That's it. We believe that if the city would keep the promise that it has made, we can work with that, and we'll start rebuilding East Biloxi. Not just Ward 1, not just Ward 2, Ward 3. The entire city would benefit from this. The entire benefit is that we have over 1,000 vacant lots. People need a place to say that this is our city tax dollars being reinvested in us. So it's not by design that, it's not by happenstance that we only have one item on here. It's designed that way because we chose the one thing that we know will help us to spur our growth. And that's what we need. We need somebody to help us to plant the seed that was promised. The seed was already promised. We've gone out there, I got pictures of us turning the soil. Matter of fact, let me pull my picture out.
Still down there?
See, we had a big announcement. We had the newspaper there. We had the TV there. And let's see, I know that fellow, that's the mayor. That's the police chief. Some of my citizens, some of my favorite pastors, all got out there with shovels. We made a big announcement. This was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, that this is happening. We've spent of taxpayers' dollars $250,000 designing a building. All these pages was paid for through the engineering, designing this building to build this building. Okay. We're just asking that the promise be kept. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Mr. Gray?
I just have a couple questions. The generators at the police department, on priority, we have it a 4. What is a priority really need to be? I mean, is that something, should be a 1? I mean, if we have no generators in a hurricane or something?
I think the priority was set by the council, correct? We did not have anything to do with the priority on this.
Right.
Y'all did this yesterday, didn't you, Councilman Tisdale? Councilman,
That's not
Yes,
correct.
well, we did a couple of things. Here, we got priorities from council members. We got a list, what they wanted done, and we asked them, each of them, for their first and second choices and what that would cost.
no, I
Okay.
understand. From the administration, if I may, Mayor, what we looked at before off the mayor's list was those first 2 different columns, I think equivalated to around $9 million of things that needed to be done. That was roof replacement, generators, HVACs, stuff that needed to be done to the existing facilities. So yesterday, I had no actions on this. I was tied up in another meeting. So your priorities here are based off of the council's priorities.
Right, okay. I mean,
No,
but
that's
but
not
in
true.
y'all's,
For our
in y'all's
priority-
perspective,
The roofs, the generators, and the HVACs are all number one priorities across for the administration side.
okay. That's what I'm saying. Without the generators, we lose communication, we lose everything. Okay, that's what I want to know. And, Chief, one question. Y'all have, to remodel, patrol office and lieutenant office. Can you, people, I've been getting a lot of things. Why is that the only office that needs to be remodeled?
Well, we had to start somewhere. That's, of course, one of our main uses and heavy traffic in that area. So that's where we want to start. The whole building's, 25 years old, so you'll see different projects over the next 5-10 years to upgrade that building.
Okay, like I said, people just been asking me and want to know why is that the only office, so no.
It's the most trafficked office. So
Okay.
it's the most worn right now.
Okay, that's all I have.
Mr. Tisdale.
Yeah, so let me explain this spreadsheet. As I mentioned earlier, we checked with all the council members and said, what are the first and second choices that you'd like to see done? And if you look across that top row, about 2/3 of the way over, you'll see council-only bond tally. All right, and there you'll see the first and second choices for the council members, and you can see that that alone runs roughly $15.6 million. That's our first and second choice. Not everything that we'd like to see done in our awards, but just the top two things. The column next to that on the right says the mayor prefers bond tally. So we met, Mr. Glavin and Mr. Marshall and I met with the mayor yesterday. And these are the things that the mayor says he needs to have. We asked for a priority order, and he said, I need to have all these things done. They're all important. Roofs, generators, a number of different things. So with what the mayor would like to see done, totals about $16.8 million. Okay? Now, there's nothing, and some of the things that the mayor wants done coincide with some of the things that the council wants done. But you can see there's roughly $1 million, or a little more than $1 million, 1.1 or $1.2 million difference there. So if we did everything on the mayor's priority list, it would run about $16.7 million. Mayor, I do want to point out there in that bottom section in Ward 7, the Woolmarket Acres subdivision, you didn't include that yesterday. I don't know if that was an oversight or not, but should we, so I didn't put that total in there. That would add another $2.1 million to it. So if you, we talk, right. 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 Oh, okay, but if we did want to include that, that would add about another 2.1 million to the total there. Exactly. What you're saying is there are other options out there that maybe we can get that revenue from.
We've got to get $1 million grant right now. To take advantage of that grant, we have to put another 25%. That's $10 million, so we've got $12 million from DC. We're going to actually apply for an additional $5 million. Maybe do another 25% of the $5 million. Now we've got $20 million.
Right. Okay, so I think that clarifies that somewhat. But if we're going to include that project, the bond money would run about 2.1 million. Right. So that's not in the mayor's total amount. So just be aware of that. I do have a laptop in here, so as we go through this, if there are things we can agree on, then I'll plug those in here, and there may be some things we don't agree on, so we may not finish our work here today, but at least we would get started on this, because at some point, we've got to come up, I think the mayor calls it the magic number, just tell me what the magic number is, so the attorneys and the bond folks can whir into action, right? Thank you, Jane, for showing up yet again. You know, the one meeting you don't show up for is when we're going to need you, you know, but thank you. So I also, at the bottom of this handout in the center, and I'm sorry the print is so small, I just made a couple of notes with some questions down there. And also next to that at the very bottom, as we plug in figures under that column, My Best Mix, whatever projects we select, I'll plug them in, and you can see the breakdown in the expenditures under this bond issue by individual ward. You'll see the ward number on the far right there of that table, W1, W2, W3, if that makes sense. So I just want to take a moment to explain what we're all looking at. Mr. President, thank you for giving me a little time to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Give anyone that hasn't spoken yet, would y'all like to chime in?
Just a quick question.
You've already spoken. Let me give you counterparts, and then we'll come back to you. Yield your time. All right, Mr. Creel, you're recognized.
Just a quick question. You had said 25%. Is it 20? The word match is 20 or 20? Okay, because it says 20 on here. That's why I'm.
Okay.
Okay.
My error.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. All right, Mr. Nair.
I just want to say when I came aboard, I didn't realize that the capital projects might have been, a little bit more important and stuff I was looking at. Can any of this change later? Like I find something that might need to be done besides a sidewalk or
Each project, see what we we've got a reservoir use for these projects has to be funded.
Yeah.
As long as it meets the bond use you can't change it.
Okay. And some of the things I put down is a little bit less problems than I know somebody else has, up here.
Identify the needs and figure out what's the best way to correct it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Shoemaker?
I'll comment, I guess. A few things. As I look over these lists, there are absolutely some needs, some dire needs. And some of the numbers, I'm not even sure if they're, accurate numbers. I know the lighthouse, historic. It's beyond repair and refurbish. I mean, it needs a lot of work. We've got $200,000. Maybe that's enough, I don't know, but to some people that may not be important. However, the lighthouse it's something I think that we're gonna have to at some point fix sooner than later. We're gonna have to repair that. It's iconic, not just for Biloxi, but for the coast. And I don't know that $200,000 number out to the side is really enough. So I say there's needs and there's wants throughout the city. Generators, air conditions, obviously needs. Quite frankly, we're not gonna repair those and replace those without this bond. We know those have to be done. I'll speak for Ward 7 now. I have two roads that need widening. Should have been widened long before anybody in this administration was here. Wash Fayard, we are building hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of brand new homes, and anyone can ride down Wash Fayard Road right now today when we leave this meeting. And if you're in a pickup truck, which that's what I drive, I will have to slow down passing another vehicle because the road is too narrow. Several times, and it's documented at the police department, we can look, if you don't believe me, dump trucks, concrete trucks have fallen off the side of the road, driving down the road. The road is so narrow, and they have to, again, when you're passing another vehicle, you have to move to the side of the road. When that's happened, they have rolled on the side. and it closes the road down, and we have to get a tow truck out there to get those vehicles back up. Twice that I know of in the last couple of months, there's a large culvert. On both sides of the road, it has washed away, and the road had to be closed down for repairs. So my point in saying all of this, we have wants and we have needs. It's in Ward 7, just happens to be in my ward, but like I said a minute ago, we've got a lot of needs through the city, and they're gonna have to be fixed and repaired, and things are gonna have to be purchased. This road, Wash Fayard, Shorecrest, the same, but Wash Fayard more so. I know it's probably not gonna make this list, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that in my comments, that road is in dire need of being widened. Again, hundreds upon hundreds of new homes have been built and are being built. And this road should have been widened long before any of us were here. Shriners Boulevard, absolutely. That doesn't benefit Ward 7 really, or it does, but it benefits the city, the coast, everybody. That is part of a much, much, much larger plan in the future. So, again, I've said it a couple times, I'll just say it last time, and I'll be quiet. We have wants in this, and we have needs. We can't have it all. If we add everything on this list, it's too much. We cannot approve that. I don't know what we're going to approve, but again, when we look at it, let's try to look at wants versus, or needs versus wants, because right now we have a majority of needs and we don't have the money for the needs. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker. I'll make a couple comments. So, first of all, I'd like to thank Councilman Tisdale for putting the spreadsheet together. It kind of frames a little bit and brings it into clarity. When you look at the bottom of this spreadsheet and you see the council only, mayor prefers, I know we're trying to get to best mix or whatever. Council only is at, call it 15.5. Mayor, you got to add in the error up there. It's around 16.5, call it. I think reasonably, if we set up to 14 million. And the reason I say that, whether it's the 15.5 or the 16.5, there's going to be some of those projects that may qualify for MIMA or other grants, and it might reduce it. I think we all can agree there could be some subtle adjustment that'll fit in that 14 million. I've been very vocal. I've been a proponent of up to 14 million. Why? Because in 2 years we can always, if we feel we have the financial capability to cover an additional bond, and we look at our finances and it says that, we can issue more bonds. We can do another 10 million, 14 million, whatever it might be. But if we can agree on the amount and give our bond representatives the opportunity to go meet whenever that schedule is as soon as possible, at least tell them this is our intent, we can get the ball rolling, and we can agree that this is a list. To Councilman Shoemaker's point, just because it's on the list doesn't mean it's definite and absolute. It means these are our priorities. This is what we want to do, and we want to put a major push on trying to accomplish, but there could be things that change in the environment tomorrow. We could have a hurricane that changes things and changes our ability to meet our financial obligations. There's a number of things out of our control we don't even know yet. So I want to make that statement on why I'm supporting the up to 14 million and not a higher amount. Majority rules, the majority of the council may think it needs to be higher. And whatever that vote comes out to be, we'll implement, and it's up to that amount. So even as we go into the process of spending 85% of this money, whatever is awarded over a 3-year period, we must spend 85% of it over a 3-year period, and that certainly can change. But what we're trying to do is work together inclusively with the mayor and this council to say these are our priorities. Please listen to us. It's important to each of our wards. Let's agree on an amount to not delay this anymore and get that started. But it's not Christmas, and you haven't got your parents' credit card to go buy that shiny new bicycle. And we got to resist that mentality. It'd be nice to get all these things done and then some. And I understand my colleagues saying the cost of money, inflation, but it's also the cost of anything we build, we have to insure, we have to maintain. There's an additional cost if we build additional buildings. We have our staff, our city staff, that I'm sure is going to expect at some point a pay increase. And then we have the fund balance that's sitting over there. If I remember during the budget, we started out with about 14 million. If we spend our expenses and everything come in exactly like budget, we'll end with 600,000. So that means we're going to have a beginning balance of 600,000. What do you think that budget is going to look like? I know we've talked about in 2 years, we're going to have a plus of 3 point something, and this bond is only going to be 2 million or less, depending on what amount. But we need to use that access to build up that fund balance to at least 3 months of operating expenses. That's best practice, and that should be one of our goals in this whole process. So there's a lot of moving parts in this environment. I hope we can agree on that amount. So in today's regular meeting, at least we can tell Jane, Ms. Minardi, that this is our intent, and we can get that process rolling. Anyone else have any comments?
Yes, sir, I do.
Mr. Marshall.
I'm lost for words because you're saying 14 million, and the mayor's wish list is 16 million. So and that's without us. So you're basically saying we get nothing, we have to wait, and the mayor gets his wish list. Well, no, sir, that's exactly what you just said. You're saying you're going to stick with 14 million no matter what the needs are. So if that fire station or if that roof or at the place doesn't fall under your 14 million, then everybody else has to just wait for the next bond when you feel comfortable. We're saying, and we asked them very politely, if you please, Mr. Mayor, look at your list of your 16 million and do what every other councilman has done. Pick out the one. What's your main priority? I call Mr. Creel, I call every councilman, and I ask, what is your number one? And I got an answer. And we asked the mayor the same thing. And we're stuck with this 16 million. So basically, no one gets anything except for those issues. Now, the problem I have with that is that of the mayor's 16 million, okay, I already presented to you guys last week a list of things that already qualify for the Modernization Act money. Okay, and you've also, Mr. Glavin, pointed out that, we've got that certain members of this council, including myself, have got that money tied up. It can be used for fixing roads and stuff, but we got that money tied up. But that's roughly $2 million every 6 months. Okay, if you take out those projects on this $23 million bond, that's $11.8 million that those funds can be used for. If you just take that part out, we can get to your 14 million. You'll be happy, and everybody else get everything they want. But what's the hold up with that? Now, you just sat here and said that the minor fund, which is the same thing, you just had a different name for it. I call it Internet Tax Fund. You can just remove that and say, if your project that you want in your area qualifies, then we need to set a budget, a minor budget, to see about getting those things done. Just as I said yesterday, just as I said in the last meeting, as I pass this out to all my fellow council members, 11.8 million, we'll drop it down to that point. Every ward will get what they want, including the mayor will get what he wants. But it seems as though that's not a good option. Also, let me be very clear.
I want to respond to it. I think we're
now, wait a minute. If I have to wait till you get through talking to respond to every item, then you should wait till I get through. Now, I didn't go point by point with you. Sure. I waited till you got through. Then I wrote down my different points that I disagreed with. Now, the other thing is that 6.5 million of this project of the list that was presented to us is what I would consider just be maintenance. Okay, yes, maintenance has to be done, but I'm not going to put the police chief on the stand for this. I'm just going to ask, is it kind of obvious that leak in that police department didn't just start this year, or last year, or 3 years ago, and you never fixed it then? You've been here for 14 years, and all these things on here have been going down for the last 14 years, and you've not made one step to fix them. You've not made one approach to fix anything on this list. We got stuff on here, generators. Those generators, I'm quite sure you knew it along the line, being here for 14 years, those generators have a lifespan. And something could have been done earlier on this. We're looking at the city hall, all these buildings didn't just get in disrepair. This didn't just happen. Bond money should be used to invest in the future. Things that we can do in order to bring in more housing, bring in more development, bring in more things to help to increase the income of the city. But we're using the majority of this bond fund to fix stuff that you've overlooked in the last 14 years, including investing into the East Biloxi, the center that was promised to them. Another point I want to bring in, you're mentioning the fact that if we built this building, I guess I'm the only one trying to build a new building here, but the building has been maintained with staff and things like that. That's what the city does. When you was putting AstroTurf in Ward 6, you didn't say that. The AstroTurf has to be maintained. Grass wasn't good enough for your people. Grass wasn't good enough. They had to go get AstroTurf. When you were putting in parks with fire hydrants, not for people, for the dogs, water hydrants for your dogs, you know it meant the fact that Mr. Man over in Parks Recreation got to maintain those. Everything that you spend in development in this city has to be maintained. But when East Biloxi asks for something, oh, we got to maintain that. Oh, we got to put people there for that. Oh, we got to insure that. That's what we do. That's what their tax dollars pay for. Now, their tax dollars will have to pay East Biloxi's tax dollars from Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3. You have to put your AstroTurf in there. And no one from East Biloxi complained about it. No one complained that we got to maintain that. And the AstroTurf, not like grass, only has a lifespan over a certain amount of time. It got to be replaced. But you're going to come back and ask for it to be replaced. And we're going to say that's for the benefit of the whole city. We're not going to hold you back. But for you to sit here and try to hold back something when you already got everything, that's selfish.
Mr. Marshall, thank you for your comments, I think, but look, I'm not here to say that any of the wards are not, I'm not here to say any of the things on here that I am taking out. I'm not saying that. I said that I'm looking at this spreadsheet that Mr. Tisdale put together, and it has council, by talking to the council and their priorities, the amount came up to 15.5. The mayor's is 16.5. I'm not going to rehash. I said that we should be financially responsible and do the up to 14 million. That may change. That's just one councilman's opinion. That we can issue another bond in a year or two if we need to, if we feel we have the financial capability. As far as AstroTurf or trying to criticize AstroTurf and it's creating more expense, overall the expense is reduced because of the amount of grass that has to be cut and maintained and the dirt fields that have to be scraped and groomed and maintained. So the net savings of putting AstroTurf outweighs just having a grass field. So not to mention, when we have tournaments that play in inclement weather, the AstroTurf, as you named it, drains much quicker, and we don't have the cancellations, or if they know that we have AstroTurf, they book with us. And we saw this the past year, these tournaments booking with us more frequently. I've said it before that we have the economic impact studies, that it brings in millions of dollars for the city. And so I'm not going to rehash that. This isn't me against you or me against any other ward. You know, we're talking about what our priorities are. I'm not saying that your priority needs to be eliminated. What I'm saying is we need to arrive at an amount. And hopefully today we can give that to our bond representative and we can move forward. We've put a lot of work and time over the last couple of weeks in this. I appreciate you attending the budget meetings to provide some input, but no way, shape, or form are we should be at odds with each other. I'm just simply stating my opinion on the amount. You're stating your opinion on the amount. When we raise our hands and vote or however we do it, we'll come up with that number, and hopefully we'll have the financial means to not only satisfy the payments of the bond, but we'll be able to increase our reserve account, which is best practice of any city, And then we'll be able to also take care of any additional financial obligations such as insurance for new buildings, staffing for the new buildings, and maintenance for those new buildings. That's it, simple.
Okay,
I'm sorry I'm talking, sir. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking.
Okay.
Let me finish,
Thank you,
please.
sir.
I would hope the goals, again, of this workshop is to arrive at what our priorities are, communicate to the mayor. The mayor has communicated what he believes his priorities are, look at it reasonably and say, this is the amount up to that this council is willing to pass a resolution so we can take the next step. That should be the goal. I'm not here to argue the benefits of any of the wards. They're well-founded. Y'all make a very good argument on why certain things should be a priority. I don't disagree with anyone on that. And just because of my feelings on an amount today, somehow somebody's going to say, well, that knocks me out of the saddle. I don't think it does. We can put more than whatever amount that we borrow, and those can be alt-ads, depending on the dynamics of things that occur. If we get a grant and they say we got a 25% match, and now we have a grant that's going to pay 75% of it, and it qualifies for this bond money, it's going to improve our wards, that should be given consideration. That's pretty powerful. So we got a lot to digest. I hope we can move forward. We're not here another 7 months still debating this. Mr. Marshall, you have the floor.
Yeah, let me say it again very clearly. No one in East Biloxi is going to stop you in your AstroTurf or any of your dog parks, anything like that. We've never voted against that. And in fact, you can look at the history. Even the person that sat in this chair before me always voted so you could get all those things. Because we recognize that there is, just like you just said, there is an economic impact. We're asking for the same economic impact in the area that is obviously in need of it. And you think your area is in need of economic impact, ride through East Biloxi. You'll see we need an economic impact. We're willing to even give up everything else just to ask for that one thing because we know that's going to help us to get to where we need to get to. And as far as the maintenance of your AstroTurf that you feel, we've been playing on grass forever. Matter of fact, you can go around and look, that's all we got is grass. We okay with it. I love my kids playing in the grass. I can just most of us get our kids to put the video game down, go out there and get in that grass, we'll be happy. But if you figure that you putting that AstroTurf saves the whole city money, we're not going to even argue with you on that. We got an opinion of it, but we're not going to argue with you on that. But what we're asking you to do is, don't stop us. By setting the goal of $14 million, it's a polite way of saying the same thing my daddy said when we went grocery shopping because we were poor. I got $20. I'm going to get everything on my list for your mama to cook with, and when I get to the cereal aisle, there's nothing left. I didn't get the cereal. He didn't tell me I couldn't get the cereal. He simply said, there's just not enough for you. That's all you're doing. And you can look at it any kind of way you want to, but that's basically your $14 million wipes us out. And not just us, but it wipes out every other ward. Because the mayor's list alone is 16 million.
All right.
Can't make that math work.
I think you made the point a few times. Anybody else?
Make a point.
Mayor?
When you say the mayor, this list was developed by engineering and a lot of the folks developing the needs. I don't have a ward, okay? It's the needs of the city of Biloxi. So the mayor, these are the things that were identified by our staff on what needs to be done. And no matter where it was, if it was a problem, that was in that list. So the mayor's list, there's no favorites here. It's done. The needs have been defined in the best of our ability. So let me just clarify that statement.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, we're not saying that you okay.
You know, these were needs that we developed as a request of what we needed to do in order to go forward. These are needs defined. No, and don't, for the record, I have no favorites. I have no list. I have developed a list of needs.
But I'm also going through your list again, and I'm still going to point out again that 6.5 million of those is maintenance work, things that should have been done over the years that was not done, that we're having to pay for, that we have to give up things for. Also, 11.8 million of your list could be eliminated by simply transferring the responsible financing source over to the other funds that are just sitting in the bank. That's all I'm saying on that, sir. I'm saying we can get them both done. What I also saying, sir, is setting a limit of 14 million, which is $2 million less than yours off the top, is just not fair.
All right. Any other points you want to make, Mr. Marshall? All right. Anybody else? Mr. Gray?
But my thing is whatever we're doing, we're giving the debt, passing it on, because a lot of us will never see these bonds get paid off. And me personally, I would love to see, I know we got a bond coming up in 2 years, or be paid off, and I know it's just not gonna happen the way I would like to see it, but I would like to see maybe a $10 million bond, and then 2 years to another 10 million. We all have wants, we all have needs. I mean, I can add so many more streets to this list that, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, our Arborville Drive down by 90, that road from the railroad tracks to 90 needs to be widened. It needs a turning bay put down by 90. I mean, we all know that hinders a lot of businesses. People don't go that way because they can't get out. No, we all want to get it done now, but, how much can we actually afford at the end of the day is what we got to look at. I mean, some of the stuff, I got $75,000 for Point Cadet Park. That's a need, more of a want than a need, but the citizens deserve clean streets, clean neighborhoods, places to play, and that's where we have to look out for the citizens. At the end of the day, they're the ones help paying this bond back. So, it's a lot. So I wish we can go through here and eliminate a lot of this stuff, but a lot of this stuff we can't. I don't know. It's just hard to try to fathom all this stuff, and the people at the end of the day has got to pay this bond back. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
If you don't mind.
Just one second, Can we agree, council, we put our priorities down here. Can we agree that this is our priorities and we can put those on the top of the list and anything else falls below it? Is there any appetite for us agreeing to that, Mr. Tisdale?
If you don't mind, I would like to ask Ms. Labata to just come up and talk about the estimates. We've got a number here. You don't have to address them all individually. I think you're probably going to tell us this is your best guess based on your experience in the market. There may be other factors, but that being said, some of these factors may increase the cost over time or may not. But anyway, just some folks may look at some of these numbers and say, well, I know that's low because they're all engineers like you, I'm sure. But if you could, just the rationale on the estimated cost, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it is at this point just a best guess on most of these because we don't have any design done. We won't know final cost until design is done. We use bid prices, we use quotes from other projects that we've done that are similar to come up with these prices. Some of them will probably be high and some of them will probably be low. That's just the nature of the business until we get into design and we start really scoping these projects out. Those costs will change. We do try to make our best educated guess on these prices. There are some things that can change, like I think before I talked about Rodenberg. If we did it as a whole, if we did it on a repair replace, we could do point repairs and it'll be about, also that's a good one, that's just a really good guess, 500,000. But if we wanted to redo the whole road, it would require design. It's a much larger scope of project. So we just kind of go through each project individually and try to come up with the best approach to the project and what it'll cost based on that approach.
And thank you for that, because depending on who sees the list,
yeah,
some are going to tell you that can't be close. Maybe it is, maybe we're taking our best educated guess. We won't know the actuals until the bids come in.
Yes.
And even then, depending on unforeseen circumstances, that may increase
Correct.
the
And it
scope of
also,
that project.
If we do a major sidewalk project, for instance, and we have to get a large contractor to do this, like Wool Market, that's a big contract. That contractor has to have insurance and, bonds and all this stuff. The cost for that, like per square foot, is going to be much higher than if we're doing 100 foot of a sidewalk that we can do in-house. So there's a lot of things that go into these prices, and each project could be looked at completely differently.
Sure.
It just depends.
Thank you. There's nothing sacred about these numbers. It's your best guess based on your experience and what you know. Thank you. That's all I had, Mr. Glenn.
I'd like to ask the council, y'all been able to digest to some degree. I know we're still chewing on this, but today's 1:30 meeting, we have a resolution that we have opportunity to put a number in it. Are y'all comfortable in a number that you can say you're comfortable with in this workshop? Listen, majority rules, I understand there may be needs higher or lower, but if we're comfortable and come up with a consensus, or if y'all want to wait and debate it again at 1:30, I totally respect that. But one of the goals is to, like I said, two of the main goals is, can we come up with our priority list, or however the amounts are? They can be 50 million, but our priority list that we can give direction and the administration start working on, they can send those resolutions to us, and we still have the opportunity to vote them up and down. And then during budget time, we would certainly have the opportunity to budget them in July as when and if we get this money. So do we have any appetite doing that today? If the answer is no, that's fine. We can talk about it later on. Mr. Tisdale.
Yeah, right now, I'm not prepared with a number because I'd like to hear the discussion. I'd like us to nail down which projects we can all agree on. If there are some things we all agree on right now, I can plug them in right now and give you a running tally.
Let's go and make an attempt at that. Ward 1, you have the opportunity to look at this list. Can you give us your top priorities on the Ward 1 list?
They would come back to me.
Okay, Mr. Marshall?
Well, I'm looking at my long list.
I'm looking at your long list.
Yes, all the things that we got on here, and we're going to forego everything but one thing, and that's what we asked for, keep the promise. Now, before I do that, because I like that we skipped over one thing, because I did ask in a prior meeting, at the $20 million, I think you put it at $18 million. The $20 million is $1.7 million is the payment amount. Okay? That would actually give everybody what they want if we eliminate some of the main things and send the money over to MIMA. Everybody get what they want. That's the most obvious answer. So if you're going to keep limiting us to 14 million, in your opinion, I know you just one vote, but you can keep limiting. You're doing it. You're putting one ward against the other. You're making us fight against. In other words, we can all get what we want and work with all of our wards and make all of our wards happy. I don't feel comfortable telling, in order for me to get the building over in East Biloxi, Ward 7 got to give up their road. I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't think we should be in that position. The bond company, which we pay to do the bond for us, has already said we can do 20 million and still be comfortable and still build our reserve. They've already told us that, so that's not an issue. What we're doing is making sure that everyone is getting it. By going less, if bond companies tell us that we can do that, then we can do it at 18 million, everybody get what they need. That's where we need to be at. It's like trying to get a house and say, I want a 4-bedroom house because I got 8 children and I got a grandmama living with me, but I only got enough to pay for a 1-bedroom house. And the bank is telling you no in a polite way. So we need to be realistic at what is needed. Halfway borrowing the money is not going to get it there. We've already experienced that with the Singer Theater.
Mr. Marshall, what is the item on your list? That's the subject matter. What is the item on your list that we're trying to get?
You probably hadn't heard, but it's the East Biloxi Recreation Center, and it's the $4 million item. Now, if you had done it when it's supposed to be done, it would have been $3 million. But if you keep putting it off, every time you put it off, it costs the city, citizens, another $1 million, $1.5 million. So, and the bond money's not going to get any cheaper.
All right, thank you. You have that total, Mr. Tisdale?
Got it.
All right,
Councilman Glavine, if
Yes.
I may, one thing that I would ask y'all when you go through here taking a look at these is I understand what Councilman Marshall stated about what has been, the roof hasn't just been leaking in a week. But I can guarantee you if we don't fix it now, those roofs, those generators, those HVACs that are not on your priority list are significant issues that we need to take care of that are going to cause us more and more issues throughout. So what I would ask each of you is to take a look at those and see, along with the natatorium, that sand filter was put in 1987. So we have definitely got our money out of it, but if not, that's going to be some issues there. So as you go through here, please feel free to ask if there's any questions on any of these that you need. I see what you're looking at, but I also see from the administration side on the day-to-day operations, generators, roofs, HVACs have got to be repaired. Thank you.
Mr. Weaver, since my name was called, let me be very clear. I'm for fixing the roof. What I'm not for is saying that I got to take $14 million and fix the roof, and then Mr. Shoemaker can't do his road, which is going to spur more development in this area, which is going to help us to create more tax base, which is going to make his people have a way to get to and from their homes safely. What I'm simply saying is that by increasing the amount to a amount that will cover all the expenses, which we've already paid the banker, financial people to tell us if this is fair, then that's what we need to do.
I understand it.
I want it. I'm pushing for you. We're on the same side.
We are on the same side, so don't think that I was being derogatory at all on what you want. What I needed to make sure of is from a day-to-day operations that I reiterated that one more time.
thank you, gentlemen. Listen, I'm going to reiterate it again. This is our priority. If we have an emergency repair of generators that are going out, that may go up on the list during whatever time frame, and we're just going to have to understand that. What we're trying to do is communicate this isn't a guarantee. I may put things on this list. I'm not taking it as a guarantee. I'm taking it as I'm communicating this is what I'd like to see in my vision or priority for my ward. And I think all the other council members are saying the same thing. But if we have a generator that's going to go out in the police department, by all means, you ought to have a resolution to get to this council, and the council shouldn't hesitate recognizing this generator is going out. It has to be replaced for the public safety. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Mr. Gray, can you identify some things that...
Just about, like I said, the lights on Howard Avenue, I mean, they need to be replaced. They're dim, can't see. Lighthouse repair for the lighthouse. And I'm like Ms. Shoemaker, $200,000. I mean, the outside needs to be repainted. I know that's way more than that. The Jackson Rue Magnolia sidewalks, that's an economic thing. We got so many visitors coming in here, shopping through there. That's got to be done. We have so many people come and play at the playground on Point Cadet. I mean, that's a want, but a need also, because when people come down here, they want somewhere to bring their kids where it's not costing them. Economics are it costs so much money to do things. That's something free for them to do. The drainage on Grand Avenue, that has been in the works for a long time. That needs to be done. Rodenberg needs to be done. Replacing the public safety roof on Porter Avenue, the police department, that's 1.6. That's a must. The generators is a must. Without that, they have no communications. The visitor center, the chiller, I get calls Saturdays, Sundays. I mean, Christy knows because I'm calling her trying to get it figured out. I mean, this is things that need to be done, and hopefully we can figure out a way to do some maintenance on them to keep everything up. I mean, that would be on my priority. I mean, like I said.
So can you name your top three? Your top 1, 2?
Excuse me just for a minute. If you'll give me the line number, that column on the far left, if you give me the line number, I'll know where to plug it in. That's all I need.
Rank them from first to
6, 7, 8, 9.
Hang on. 6, 7, 8, 9.
10.
10.
12,
12,
13,
13,
14,
14,
15.
15.
And I got a question for Christie. On here, what is the lost purchase on Graham Avenue?
2.3 million.
I think I know what it is, but I want you to explain to it.
This repetitive loss purchase is an area that floods repeatedly and that we're continually having to go in and address flooding issues. So in the past, we have bought those properties out because they have continual flooding problems. Now, there are options there. We can go in and do a major drainage project, or we can just buy it, let the drainage do what it does naturally, and it be a repetitive loss purchase by the city of that property and home.
So we plan on buying this property?
No, we're not planning on it. It's just an option for how to address the drainage in that area. Like, we haven't talked to the property owner about it, but it is one of the areas that we have severe drainage problems that would cost a lot of money to do a drainage project.
Okay.
It's an option.
Question, is that, what's the question I want?
Not sure.
That FEMA reimbursable?
No, I don't, what's that? Go ahead.
I mean, after a storm, they might agree to it, but I'm thinking at this point in time, I don't know that they would.
There's not, but in the past, there have been grants through FEMA where that can be accomplished, and
Okay.
I think we've been exploring that. Nothing is available right now, but it
Right.
comes open from time to time.
And we have done this with some properties in the past. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
All right, so let me be sure I have that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, and that's it. And that roughly comes to 2.3, 2.4 million. Okay? Just, I'll give you the totals as best I can, all right?
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. We'll move on to Mr. Nail.
I think I should get everything. I didn't ask for a whole lot. I think I should get everything, but this is my, it don't add up to be but about 500,000.
All I need, excuse me, all I need is the line number.
Number 23,
23,
24,
24,
28, 29, and 30. We can play with the rest of them later.
All right, so here's what I'm looking at. I've got 23, 24, 29, 28, 29, and 30, 5 items, correct?
A lot of those are overpriced, so we can work with that.
Okay, so those 5 items come to roughly
800.
maybe a little less than $900,000, 800,000, somewhere in there. Okay?
Mr. Crew.
I know we're supposed to be talking about our individual wards, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention in the first sheet that we were given last Friday or prior to, the first 3 items, Ward 5 and 2 in Ward 7, it's 3.6 that'll yield 15.3 in match money. Without that being said, I think those need to be included somewhere in here when it gets to the respective wards. I would fully support that. It makes sense to use that match money to obtain the grants. Now, moving on to Ward 4, the Lawn Falls drainage is 31.
All right.
I'd love to have lights on the fields, but I can't get them unlocked, so there's no sense in putting lights out there if they stay locked. So with that, I'd like to move to 35. Both of those canals in Ancient Oaks need to be addressed. You got homeowners that are investing substantial amount of money in bulkheads and boathouses that they can't get to right there. So But that again could be a double dip, I'd like to include it only because if history dictates itself and we fall short or get nothing in Tideland's money again this year, like we did last year, then I know that could be a Tideland's request and one would wash, it would wash. So, but I'd be remiss if I didn't include that simply. I think we do a lot of hoping for money. I'd rather hope that I get this bond money in hopes that I don't get the Tideland's money. I hope so, yeah. So just those two right there is, I would suffice, and those are two big, great projects. Lauren Falls has some issues with drainage. I know we're out there on a scheduled basis to assist with it, but I think that's putting a Band-Aid on it until we can address the major scope. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Creel. Mr. Tisdale, you're up.
Okay, so I'm looking at what's on my list compared to what's on the mayor's list, and they're pretty much the same thing. So that would be line item 38, 36, 37, 38, 39, and I'm undecided on the repetitive loss. That's where the mayor and I didn't think about that. I know the location. It probably does need to be done.
Just because you're not listed as a priority, don't mean it comes off the list. It could be an alt add.
That's
to be replaced.
Yeah, that's correct. So I'll plug it in. But if I had to get rid of one of them, that would probably be the one I'd get rid of off my list. Okay, so I'm good.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Shoemaker.
I guess I would say, well, let me start with this. I agree with what Rick said. The city has so many projects and repairs that we have to look at. There's no other way to get those done without looking at those and including them in this bond. Regarding my ward, I guess number one, just looking at the city and coast-wide would be Shriners, which is number 49, and then I would say number 51.
49 and 51. All right, that comes to about 3.3 million. And I'm thinking mine came to mine came to about 1.7 million. I see, and Mr. Creel's came to $1.5 million. All right, Kenny, Mr. Glavin.
Yeah, so I'm going to start out with Motsy Road, just a couple of comments. This is a perfect project for the MIMA funds. I think I'd like to remove it from the bond. I'm not going to double dip, and with hopes that my colleagues would recognize, and I would hope y'all will come out just as we've done courtesy in the other wards and walk this area with me and speak to the people there. They have really been waiting for a long time as well. And this is a canal that when it rains heavy, it overflows the banks and it washes up into the apartments and into the carpet and flooring and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm not going to belabor it. So I'm going to take that off the list and move down to the sidewalk project for Brody and Tribe Drive. We have a tremendous amount of development in that area. It's a major bus route for the Biloxi school system. And I think for safety reasons and the increased traffic, it should become a priority. So I'm going to put number 47. I would put number 46 next, which is Mason. It could possibly qualify for some of those WRDA funds. I don't know, but I would put that next. The generator, 42. And that would be my top. Now, I do have a question. There's a couple pretty big ticket items here. Those are my three, I think.
Comes to about 2 million.
All right. I do have a question on the metal building for training at the fire station, emergency quarters, 500,000. Can anybody elaborate on that? I'm not familiar with that project or need.
Yes, sir. So we've been, it was in the original plans of the original Station 7. Part of it would be for storing a lot of these additional, our reserve units, additional training props. Since it is the training center, there's a lot of bulk to most of that. In addition, we were going to section off an area. If it's, say, a 50 by 100 building, we'd section off 25 foot, so we'd have about a 25 by 50 area with restrooms, men's and women's. So when we have a Katrina-like event and we have dispatch and additional fire personnel that are on scene and not able to go back and forth to home, maybe bridges are knocked out, it would act as a supplemental bunk housing area for those people.
Chief, let me ask this question because we've invested a lot of assets and time, blood, sweat, and tears. Does this also help our fire rating?
I can't speak on that completely because we didn't ask them when we just did the most recent. It could possibly with additional personnel, but I'm not too sure. But we can check on it.
So we don't have the answer for that.
No. This would mainly be for our people during storm time and then EOC type stuff and then training aspects because we revamped our training division and it would allow us to do simultaneous trainings.
Again, I'm not saying we eliminate it. It would be an alt-add if some of these items get financed or grants or whatever, but I think this has been a good exercise. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
I didn't get to tell my people what my items are.
Real quick.
Number 3 was repairing sidewalks. Number 20, no, that was number 23. Number 24 was putting a pavilion down by the boat ramp with some picnic tables under it. And number 28 was paving South Drive. And number 29 was putting 780 feet of sidewalk down Jim Money Road. And then number 30 was dredging Hiller Park Pond.
Good job. Thank you. Dr. Tisdale, you have the honor of, and your expertise as a former school superintendent to do the math. Where are we at?
You
Be accurate now.
You didn't tell me I'd have to do math today.
Well, Shoemaker's over there counting on his fingers.
So, from a couple of different perspectives. First of all, what we just mentioned that we wanted, and we really hadn't taken into account other than things that might have coincided with what the mayor wants, that comes to roughly 15.8 million.
Okay.
All right. Of that, what we think would be infrastructure, MIMA, eligible would be a little less than 12 million. And in looking at a breakdown by ward, if this was the list we went with, and this is just a preliminary pass through the first thing, Ward 1, that'd be roughly 2.3, 2.4 million, Ward 2, 4 million, Ward 3, about 800,000, Ward 4, $1.5 million, Ward 5, 1.8 million, Ward 6, 1.9 million, and Ward 7, 3.3 million. So if you're looking at, if we're trying to come up with a bond number, a bond amount today, this is basically how we see our priorities, but we really hadn't looked at those things that the administration says we really need to do. Some of these things haven't been included. So if you want to give Mr. Weaver an opportunity, and if it's already been mentioned by one of the council members, I'll let you know, Mr. Weaver, and just if you'll go by line number, and I'll start plugging them in.
Mr. Weaver.
I didn't quite catch all of what Councilman Gray said, so I will go through some of ours as far as what I'm looking at. Obviously, number 4.
All right, let's see. Give me just a moment. I'm going to have to, all right, number 4, okay.
the mayor's list is what my list is, but
Right.
the things that I see we have to do, obviously, is going to be roofs, generators, and HVACs.
Right, number 4 has already been mentioned by Mr. Gray, so that's already on our preliminary list. Next one,
Number 6,
number 6, that's a visitor center chiller. Okay,
and Mr. Gray, I think, mentioned that as well, too. You have 7, 8,
let me see, 6, he did, and he had 7, he did not have 8. You're looking at number 8 then, is that correct?
yes, sir, the repair of the roof.
You mentioned 8 too?
Let's see. Oh, let's see. Well, I didn't, all right, I didn't catch 8. Let me see. No, I'm sorry. I got 8, and I got 9.
I don't know how y'all want to look at a repetitive loss, but we can utilize that maybe later on. These would be able to do that. I don't think the MIMA grants would be able to do a repetitive loss on there.
What line item is?
Look, that's the one at the 10, but
10.
that would be, I think we have 3 of those throughout. But again, we can take a look at a grant that we discussed on those earlier too. Point Cadet Playground is actually going to be about $100,000. We've got some new bids in on that one.
What line is that?
Put that there.
Need line number.
Is one of the bids. Excuse me?
Line number.
All right, he included that.
12,
It was included, yep, we already got it.
14,
14, lighthouse repair, that's a new one, okay.
He had that.
Who got it?
19,
So you had 14 in there, Wayne?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that, all right.
Said 19.
$10 million.
All right, so I got, hang on, I got 14. All right, and then what's the next one after line item 14, Mr. Weaver? Line item 19, the Civic Center HVAC?
yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
I need 21. I know Councilman Marshall's already put 20. The brick house, we really need to from a historical standpoint, and that would be 17 and 18.
All right, hang on, so I have, did I hear line item 21?
Yes, sir, you did, that roof.
Okay, so, all right, so that's a new ad, and then what came after that?
17, 18, so basically everything
17, 18, okay.
Marshall's ward would be part of that.
Gotcha, okay. All right,
Looking at the armory roof in Councilman Nails, we need to take a look at that roof. It has not been repaired
all right.
in many years, so it leaks.
That's a 22.
Gotcha.
No, Councilman Nails already hit most of those. Going to Councilman Creel. The drainage at Lauren Falls, I know we've been dealing with that.
Right, that was line 31, we already have that.
Got it. So I'll go with Councilman Creel on his. Not add anything. In your ward, I think you had 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40
Correct,
already marked.
correct.
Councilman Glavin, go at 41, 42,
41,
43.
40, all right, so I got 41, did you say 42 as well?
I had 42, I think.
You had 42, 43.
We did have 42, so then we have 43, okay.
Roof. Communications roof and lobby and ceiling needs to be fixed.
But that's 43, okay.
That's 43, 45.
45, we don't have, that's an ad.
If y'all would support me on MIMA.
Yeah. 45, okay.
48, 49,
48, 49,
50, 51.
50, and 51. All right, I'll have to give you a total on that later. I didn't build this in as an add-on. So, so I don't know what that totals. I don't know what that totals in addition or a grand total, but I'll have that this afternoon for our council meeting. Okay, so I can't give you a total, so that's going to be in addition to the roughly 16 million that we came up with. It's going to add a few more million to it. I'll have that figure for you this afternoon. I got to add another column to the spreadsheet. I'll try and have this printed depending on when we finish here. I'll see if I can get the clerks. I'll revise this, get it to the clerk. We'll have it printed for this afternoon. We might have it printed in the next half hour. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Any final comments from any council members before we ask the administration, and maybe if y'all have any final comments? Mr. Shoemaker, any final comments? Mr. Tisdale, anything?
No, I'd just like to thank all the other councilmen and the administration for working with me, trying to set these things up and work all this out to kind of keep us better informed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Creel? Mr. Nail?
No.
Mr. Marshall?
I'm good.
All right. Mr. Gray? I also want to thank my colleagues on the council. This is a major thing that we're kind of debating. We shouldn't take it lightly, and I hear the passion in everybody, what they're trying to do, but working together and understanding all the complexities of this is really important. If it was simply trying to apply for a credit card and saying this is the interest rate, and we go buy what we want to buy, and then we have the ability to make those payments each month, that would be easy. But we have a lot to absorb going forward, and everyone on this council has made some excellent points, and I appreciate and respect each and every one of you. With that, the chair entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
All right, made by Mr. Gray.
Second.
Second by Mr. Creel. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.